Hey, what's up, guys? So I just wanted to give you a quick little update since I've had the Supra for a little over a month now. I gotta be honest, I absolutely love this car. I really don't have any complaints. Well, that's not true. Of course I do. So let me share those with you. There's about 4 quirks with the car, which no car is perfect, as I'm sure all of you know. Number one biggest issue is going to be the wind buffeting, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard a million times, if not more, from other videos that you've watched if you're interested in buying a Supra, or even just watching videos just out there in general. Wind buffeting, yes, it still exists in the 2023s. Rather unfortunate, kind of sucks, but it is there. There is a couple different options in terms of fixing it. So I actually went with the cheaper option that I've seen some other YouTubers do, just with the door guards that you can buy on Amazon. They're between $10 to $15, depending if you're in America or Canada, wherever you may be, but you can get them on Amazon. I can try to link those down below for those of you that may be interested and haven't heard of that fix. I do have a couple friends with MK5 Supras in town that have actually not even realized or noticed that it's on there until I pointed it out. So it does blend right in. It's gloss black, just like the mirrors. So you literally cannot even tell that it's there, which is awesome in my opinion. Now with this car, there's a couple issues when it comes to this car specifically, it being a manual transmission. The cup holders are in a terrible spot. Like, it's just no good at all. I don't know if you guys can see right now, but my elbow is basically resting almost in the back cup holder, like the second one towards the back, and then my forearm is kind of basically crossing over the front cup holder. So they're basically useless in this car. Mind you, it's a sports car, so it's not that big of a deal. But if you're like me and you have a girlfriend or a wife, whatever your situation may be, and you know they like to go to Starbucks, shit like that. Yeah, even you guys, maybe you guys like to go to Starbucks too. But anyways, you know, you're gonna have to use the cup holder here and there once in a while, especially if you're a daily driver, right? Cup holders are, like I said, basically useless in the car. Now you can use them, especially the back one is pretty easy to use if you adjust your arm. It's a little bit awkward in terms of shifting, but if you're on the highway or whatever, it's not that big of a deal. But if you have like a taller cup in both of them, it's just super awkward. It's doable, yes, but it's awkward. Nobody wants to fucking like be shifting in super weird positions like that, especially if you know some other sports car rolls up next to you and starts revving at you or trying to get you to race. Can't really race when you got something in the cup holder, right? So that sucks. Basically you have to throw it out the window to give yourself that advantage, you know, throw it at his windshield. No, I'm just kidding, don't do that, but you get the idea. So that sucks. Other two things with the manual transmission that I've personally experienced, I saw one other guy experience this next issue I'm about to go over. I saw it before I actually got the car. So this is something that I was already aware of, and I was kind of just waiting to see if it's going to happen to me or not, and that's the shift knob popping off. So it did happen to me about a week and a half ago. I was just cruising to pick something up that I purchased, and I was in third gear, not even driving aggressively or spiritedly, whatever. I was in third gear on the highway and went to shift into fourth, and it literally just popped off. Mind you, it is all leather, it's all attached, so it didn't fall on the floor or on the seat. I didn't panic or anything like that. It wasn't scary, if that's what you guys are wondering. It's not that big of a deal. It's just unfortunate, and it's a disappointment because it should not be happening on a sports car that costs this much. So it was just, you know, a little bit of a disappointment there. But that is something that's happened to me. So now I did kind of pull off to the side of the road and just kind of hammer it down with my hand, and I'm pulling up on it right now, and it's pretty stable. It does twist left and right, so if any of you guys watching are BMW owners, please let me know if this is like a common issue with BMW shifters. I don't know what the deal is there, but that's again, like I said, it's a disappointment. Aside from that, the other issue that I've experienced with the manual transmission specifically is getting into first gear. This has happened to me at least every other day, maybe 1 out of 10 times, 1 out of 20 times, something like that. So it's not super common, but it does happen, and it does kind of piss me off a little bit. Just getting the car into first gear when I'm at a dead stop. So if I come to, like, let's say if this light turned red, whatever, I come to a dead stop, or if I'm at a stop sign, it does not like to go into first gear. I don't know if that's because the synchros are not lined up or what the deal is there. Mind you, I have not had any maintenance periods yet. I haven't gone through any maintenance. I haven't done any oil changes, fluid changes, literally nothing. Aside, the only thing I've done is performance upgrades, which, like, you know, the downpipe pipe intake, I've done lowering springs, I've done wheel spacers, but aside from that, I haven't done any maintenance. So that could be the case. Maybe I'm just low on fluids. I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna do that before I give any serious negative feedback on it, because again, it's not like it happens all the time, but that's just something I've experienced. I don't know if anyone else out there with the manual has experienced that. It's definitely, it can't be the way that I drive. The only reason I say that is because I've been driving manuals, transmissions basically my entire life. I've never actually owned an automatic car, so yeah, it's unlikely. I don't even downshift into first, which you can in this car. Even with auto rev matching, it'll actually rev match for you into first gear, which I know a lot of you guys probably don't drive with rev matching on anyways. I actually just have it on right now for the purpose of the video, just to kind of show you guys how good it is, because it is very good for those of you that may be new to manual transmissions. If you're coming from a 2022 Civic Si, I can tell you right now the rev matching in this car is way better. It doesn't have that bullshit rev hang that the Civics have. The notchiness of it feels absolutely amazing. It is a little like looser in comparison to the 2022 Civic Si. Like that shifter is very tight and super gated, like it goes into gear, you know, super notchy like. This one does too, but it's not as tight. So in my opinion, this shifter feels amazing. And as you see, the downshifting is amazing. It works flawlessly. I have zero issues with that, zero complaints. It's quite good. I've actually never missed a gear in this car yet. It seems like it's near impossible. I'm sure it's possible, especially if you're like a fairly new driver, but for me, I've had no issues, and I've been to Mexico plenty of times, done plenty of races in the car, and this car, all it does is impress me. That's all I can say. Like, I actually have a buddy with a 2022 Supra, the 2-port B58, and he's got a couple bolt-ons, and he's also MHD Stage 2 tune, and this car, I was actually able to beat him. Like 9 times out of 10, depending on if he's brake boosting or not, I can get him every single time. This car always pulls on him, especially on the top end. So I'm beyond impressed with this car. Mind you, I know the 6-port has more power outputs just from factory, so I get it. It makes sense. And it's a little bit lighter, not by much, but it is lighter. So there's that. But even if I have a passenger in the car, I'm still beating it, which is just amazing to me. I did not think the manual was going to be this quick. I expected it to be quite a bit slower than a tuned 2020. So yeah, that's great. So I'm really curious to see where this car takes me in the future. I'll probably make another video on what my plans are in terms of performance for this car, because I do have a lot of plans. This is basically going to turn into a full-on drag car at some point. Not anytime in the near future, but you know, 5 to 6 years down the road, I'm probably going to be strictly dragging this car. Right now, I'm kind of just daily driving it for the summer, anyways. For the time being, I still have my Civic, so I'm going to use that in the winter, and then when summer hits again, I'll start driving this again. So I'm kind of just enjoying it right now. But yeah, I'll kind of make another video going over my plans with it. I guess that's really it. I don't really have a whole lot else to share with you. I mean, I guess I can kind of go over interior wise. I am a little over 6 feet tall. I'm like about 6'1", about 200 pounds, a little over 200 pounds, and I personally have zero issues fitting in this car. Now, I would say if you're watching this and you're considering getting a Supra, if you're, you know, 6'2", 6'3", and above, it might be a little bit of a tight fit for you. Especially if you have longer legs rather than a long torso, it's probably not the best fit for you. Especially if you're somebody who's only driving around in town and not on the highway where you can kind of stretch your legs a little bit on the dead pedal. Stuff like that is definitely something to take into consideration. I mean, a lot of you probably already know that if you're on the taller side. But yeah, I personally fit great, zero issues. Seats are extremely comfortable. Now, I am going to replace the seats. Not because they're not comfortable or I don't like them or anything. I actually think they look amazing. I personally love the black interior. But I'm all about performance and speed. So I'm going to get some lighter seats, because these are about 60 to 70 pounds each, something like that, because they're both fully powered and they've got heat and everything. So plus airbags, stuff like that. So I'm going to get rid of them and get some lighter seats in hopes that I can drop a total, like between the two seats, so hopefully between 50 to 60 pounds. That's what I would like to drop, because I think I can get some seats that are around 15 to 20 pounds each, maybe add an extra 5 to 10 pounds for the brackets on the bottom, the sliders. But yeah, that's kind of what my plan is for the seats. Other than that, interior wise, visibility is what you would expect in a Supra, especially with the lower brow. out kind of idea in the Supras. The windshields are a lot smaller than they look from the outside when you're sitting in here. That's what makes it feel like a full-on race car, which I actually love. But visibility when you're trying to do a shoulder check is not that great. Or if you're like backing out of a driveway, something like that, not the best. But I mean, it's certainly tolerable for, especially for, you know, being a sports car. I have zero issues. But if you're a new driver, maybe something to consider again, visibility-wise, you know. But yeah, other than that, I'm trying to think. Audio in this car is good. So I seen a lot of people with the previous generation, or not the previous generation, but the previous years of the MK5 Supra, they've experienced audio issues where the subwoofers just don't sound very good, or just the quality. So I had the same issue straight out of the dealership. I personally thought it sounded great, but it wasn't up to, you know, the standard that I would have expected for this price of a car. In my opinion, the sound system in the SI actually sounded better right out of the dealership. But what I would suggest before you start fiddling around with it, because there is fixes for the sub box to like cut holes in it and everything like that to allow venting, before you do that, I would suggest looking at what other people are doing for their equalizer settings, because you can play around with that and it will make a huge difference. So that's something that definitely recommend doing before you start cutting into your brand new car. Aside from that, the audio's been good, but me personally, I don't even really jam that much music when I'm driving by myself, because I like to have the windows down and just enjoy the sound of the engine, the turbo, the intake, the exhaust. Like, I like to hear everything rather than the music all the time. That's just me personally. But you know, if I'm driving around with the girl, you know, we just we bump music here and there if we're on the highway, just cruising around. But yeah, trying to think here, what else would I be? Trunk space, pretty good in this car. I don't really tend to carry a lot of luggage or anything like that. I actually work from home, so I don't even need to travel back and forth to work and carry stuff around, so I don't have any issues with that. But if you're somebody that has like toolboxes, or I don't know, just stuff that you would normally bring in a work truck or anything like that, or luggage or suitcases, anything like that, you should be able to fit it without any issues. Or even like a golf bag or something like that if you're going golfing on weekends, baseball, whatever the deal may be. You can definitely fit all that stuff in there. Is it going to be a tight fit? Yes, but it is a sports car again at the end of the day. Like most people that have these, they probably have like a sedan or something, or a truck or an SUV on the side. So, you know, it's not really everybody's ideal daily in terms of space, but you should expect that if you're getting this car. It's definitely not something that you should overlook, or that you could overlook. Yeah, that's all I can really think to give you guys an update on. I guess I'll give you a little pull here before I end off the video. A little second gear here, maybe you guys can hear the intake and everything. Now, hopefully you guys can hear that. I don't know if you can or not, but I actually didn't even have my sport traction on or anything, but yeah, in person, the intake and the turbo spooling up because of the intake is extremely loud. Like, I absolutely love it. It sounds amazing. Hopefully it comes out on video just as good, but I highly doubt it will. As you guys know, it just never does it justice. But in person, it sounds amazing. So again, I'll probably make a separate video going over the mods that I have and what I would suggest, what I'd recommend, and you know, my experiences with everything. So I'm probably going to be trying a couple different products here and there. But yeah, I guess that's kind of where I'm going to end off the video. So if you guys have any questions or concerns, or you're considering getting the Supra, anything you'd like to know, please do drop a comment below, let me know. Drop a like on the video, you know, share it around, give me your thoughts and opinions as well. I'd love to hear it. So yeah, anyways, peace out guys, have a good one.